In the quiet, tree-lined suburbs of Greenwich, Connecticut, a place known for its peace and privilege, a single crime would tear through its calm like a blade through silk. It began on an October evening, just before Halloween. The streets were lit by porch lights and the laughter of kids playing harmless pranks. Among them was Lila Morrison, a bright, confident 16-year-old known for her sharp wit and kindness. Her parents, Daniel and Claire Morrison, had moved to Greenwich only a year earlier, drawn by its reputation for safety and charm. That night, Lila joined her friends for what everyone called mischief night. They played silly games, rang doorbells, tossed rolls of paper into trees, nothing out of the ordinary. Around 9:30 p.m., she was last seen chatting and laughing near a neighbor's house with Tyler Sloane, a 17-year-old from one of the wealthiest families in town. Tyler was charming, athletic, and carried a name that opened doors. His family's estate sat just a few houses away from the Morrisons. The next morning, Greenwich woke to horror. Lila never came home. After frantic searching, her body was found beneath a large oak tree on her own property. The scene was brutal, her injuries severe, and near her body lay a broken golf club. Detectives soon discovered that the club came from the Sloane family's private set. For a community that prided itself on order, the idea that one of its own could commit such violence was unbearable. The investigation began swiftly, but it didn't take long for things to get complicated. Tyler's father, Richard Sloane, a well-connected businessman with powerful friends, began shielding his sons from questioning. Lawyers appeared within hours. Records were sealed. Rumors began to swirl that influence, not truth, would decide this case. Police questioned Tyler and his older brother Evan, both of whom denied seeing Lila after she left the group. Their stories, however, didn't quite match. Witnesses reported seeing Tyler near Lila's house around 10 p.m. Others claimed they'd heard an argument. But without hard evidence, the case began to stall. Weeks turned into months. The media descended on Greenwich, painting the picture of a perfect town hiding a dark secret. The Morrisons, grief-stricken and desperate, pushed authorities for progress, but each lead seemed to vanish behind closed doors. Then, a new name emerged, Kevin Litton, the Sloanes' live-in tutor. He had started working for the family just 2 days before the murder. His background was murky, and his behavior in the days after Lila's death raised eyebrows. Police briefly considered him a suspect, but once again, the investigation ran into interference. Files went missing. Witnesses withdrew statements. Years passed, and Lila's case turned cold. But her mother, Claire, refused to let her daughter's story fade away. She gathered every document, every photograph, every interview, convinced the truth was still buried somewhere beneath the privilege and power of Greenwich's elite. Then, in 2020, everything changed. A true crime author unearthed a forgotten police report from the original investigation. In it were statements from 2 of Tyler's former classmates, both claiming he had privately confessed to doing something terrible the night Lila died. The evidence was enough to reopen the case. Detectives brought Tyler back in for questioning. Now in his 30s, his carefully built life began to crumble. Forensic retesting on the golf club revealed partial DNA consistent with Lila, and a faint trace belonging to Tyler. Within weeks, he was charged with second-degree murder. The trial that followed split the town in half. Prosecutors portrayed Tyler as a jealous, impulsive teenager who lashed out when Lila rejected his advances. The defense argued that the evidence was circumstantial, that Tyler had been unfairly targeted because of his last name. The courtroom overflowed with reporters, neighbors, and people who had once called the Sloanes untouchable. As the verdict was read guilty, gasps filled the room. After nearly 5 years of silence and frustration, Lila's family finally had justice. Tyler was sentenced to 25 years in prison. But for many, the conviction didn't bring peace. Some still whisper that Tyler's older brother, Evan, knew more than he ever admitted. Others believe the tutor, Kevin, may have played a role, and that the truth is far more tangled than anyone will ever know. In Greenwich, the Morrison home still stands, its windows overlooking the same quiet street where Lila once laughed with her friends. Every October, a single candle burns in the window, a tribute to the girl who trusted her world too much, and a reminder that even in the safest places, evil can hide behind familiar smiles. You've been watching Echoes of Betrayal, where every secret leaves a scar. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next story that still echoes in the dark.